Hello, everyone. Before this podcast begins, I'd like to address a few things regarding the difficult time we are facing right now as terms to the ongoing pandemic. First and foremost, I would like to thank every single person who continued to work and risk their lives to help those in need of the essential services. The list of thank yous I give are so long. The list goes on and on and on, from nurses to doctors, firefighters to policemen, and even grocery store clerks to fast food workers. Thank you to all the workers who continue to work and make sure that we stay safe and healthy during this difficult time. As of this week, co-host MD Shady is officially back on a Funko podcast after self-isolating for 14 days as required by the Canadian government if you have left the country and have returned. But that does not mean that everything is back to normal. It's now time to do our part. It's now time to return the favor to the essential workers who currently are there working for us right at this moment. You are probably watching this. Stay home. Wash your hands for at least 20 seconds. And if somehow you can't count to 20 seconds, sing the first verse and chorus of Shawn Michaels' entrance music. I think I'm cute. I know I'm sexy. I got the looks that drives the girls, while I got the moves that really move them. I send chills up and down their spines. I'm just a sexy boy. Sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. Boy toy. I'm just a sexy boy. Sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. Boy toy. Voila! Told you Shawn Michaels' theme song works. If you're out and about and you don't have access to soap and water, hand sanitizer works like wonders. If you need to wipe your cell phone off, bring a bag with wipes. Yes, I only have one, but I've been through a crap ton of wipes already. Trust me. All of those things will help to accomplish one important task that we all need to do. Help flatten the curve. We can do this. We can overcome this. Let's do this. And now, back to your regularly scheduled podcast, the 32nd edition of a Funko podcast featuring DK Wrestler and MD Shady. Enjoy. Like, comment, and subscribe for more content. What's up, everybody? Welcome to this edition of a Funko podcast. I'm DK Wrestler.
And I'm MD Shady.
And in the words of the creator of Frankenstein, he's alive!
That I am.
I am. Yes. So officially, technically, as of if I go by what our government has been saying, 2 weeks ago, exactly yesterday as we record this, technically would end what would have been MD's technically self-isolation period, but everyone is kind of under self-quarantine now because the situation's gotten worse the last couple of weeks because of this pandemic. But anyways, I would like to say before I go any further into this podcast, thank you to Robbie D from Funko Pop Monthly who filled in the last couple of weeks for MD Shady on this podcast. So thank you to you. And I guess now we get to ask, what have you been doing the last couple of weeks? Any Netflix shows? Any video games?
Yeah, of course. Like, it's really weird being off of work because I work just about every day, like throughout the week. So having this time off work is really weird, but it's also very relaxing. I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty and a ton of NHL. I've been just stacking my ultimate team up, and it's looking pretty good. For shows, I've been watching Star Wars: The Clone Wars, some Yu-Gi-Oh, Schitt's Creek as well. I've been like watching a little bit of a bunch of stuff, basically.
Yeah. Yesterday I actually binge watched the whole 7 episodes
of Tiger King.
Nice.
And what a damn show. And that's
Yeah,
also,
it's crazy.
for all the viewers listening, the only reason I watched Tiger King is because I don't know why, but Netflix Canada decided to take off seasons 4 and 5 of Yu-Gi-Oh! While I was still literally on the last 10 episodes of season 4, ready to get into season 5, finishing it off. But I don't know. I guess
Yeah,
it's on.
that's the worst. That's happened to me before. I forget what show it was, but it was the same situation where I was only a couple episodes till I was finished the season, and then their licensing ends up running out. Like, it's just bad luck.
Yeah. So I guess I should also mention that, yes, it may not be the greatest quality that you're listening to right now for the podcast, but due to the ongoing pandemic, we have moved the podcast online through an app called Zoom, which, for those that may not know, this is the exact same app that Funko themselves have been using to record the Funko Funcast the last couple of weeks. And speaking of that, they're actually doing some sort of live stream tonight, which would definitely be through the Zoom app also. Forget exactly what it is, but it's not the Funko Funcast, though. I think that'll be Friday that they'll be recording that live. But yes, it's also great that we've moved online, not only to practice social distancing, but we've been working on getting guests on the podcast for a little bit now. And now with this program, we're able to do that. And I'm really trying to aim for our first guest to appear somewhere in mid-May. I'm aiming for mid-May 2020 for our first guest. I'm going to message some people within the next couple of weeks, hopefully get something done for like the beginning of May, and then the podcast with the guest would be released sometime in mid-May. So that would be great. All right. So with this whole pandemic thing going on, that leads into the first segment that we debuted a few weeks ago called Coronaviral News, which basically discuss a couple of news from each day of the last week relating to the ongoing pandemic. So starting off with Thursday, March 26th, the United States of America becomes the most infected country in the entire world, and 500,000 cases were confirmed worldwide. Friday, March 27th, UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson had tested positive for COVID-19, and the US had surpassed 100,000 cases of COVID-19. Saturday, March 28th, 600,000 cases confirmed worldwide, plus the Ontario government had changed the gathering limit from 50 people at most to 5 people. Sunday, March 29th, 700,000 cases confirmed worldwide, and U.S. President Donald Trump extends the social distancing guidelines in the United States until April 30th, 2020. Monday, March 30th, Italy becomes the second country in the world to reach 100,000 cases, and Air Canada lays off more than 15,000 workers from their jobs. Tuesday, March 31st, 800,000 cases confirmed worldwide, and Ontario schools will remain closed until May 1st from kindergarten to grade 12, and Manitoba schools will be closed indefinitely. And today, as we record this, which is April Fool's Day, April 1st, 900,000 cases confirmed worldwide. The United States of America surpasses 200,000 cases, and Spain become the third country to surpass 100,000 cases, which it's crazy to think that basically probably when this podcast gets released that we're probably going to reach 1 million cases. And it happens like Thursday, it was 500,000, and then we're almost at 1 million in practically a week, which is just beyond crazy to me.
Yeah, that is completely insane how many people are being affected by this. And it's because people aren't doing what they should be, or just stay home. I get it, it's hard, but it's something that we all have to do. Like, yeah, it's crazy to see, like, it becomes really surreal when you see, like, famous people who are getting it or, like, potentially dying from it. I know that, I forget his name at the moment, but 2 days ago, one of the guys from the newer Star Wars movies, he actually passed away because of COVID.
Okay. Yeah. And then earlier in the month, Tom Hanks got diagnosed.
Yeah, and his wife.
Yeah. So there is that. But now we're going to move on, getting out of this whole pandemic news, and let's move on to some Funko Pop announcements. The remaining Funko Pop announcements for March 2020, which we had missed these pops while doing last week's podcast. But starting off Thursday, March 26th, Michaels announced their own exclusive do-it-yourself Hello Kitty Pop, which that is available online only, considering that the majority of stores are currently closed due to the pandemic. So everything is online only at the moment. Then Friday, March 27th, the Funko Shop had announced their own exclusive of Pillsbury Doughboy with an Easter basket, which obviously was released at 11 a.m. PST, 2 p.m. EST on the Funko Shop. And then announced that same day, we have a few pops from the movie Fast Times at Ridgemont High, which the list of pops we have here are Jeff Spicoli, and then another version of Jeff Spicoli with a trophy, Linda Barnett, Brad Hamilton, and Mr. Hand. And those are expected to be released as early as June 2020. On March 28th, Hot Topic had announced their own exclusive pop and tea combo of Venomized Groot, and the pop will glow in the dark. This pop is available for online purchase, and I think it's either available now and it starts shipping out, or it's going to ship out some point in May. And then on March 30th, which was this past Monday, Funko Shop had announced their own exclusive for the Pop Myths lineup of Cyclops, which obviously released at 11 a.m. PST, 2 p.m. EST on the Funko Shop on March 30th. And then announced that same day, Funko had announced some Pride Pops in support of the It Gets Better project, which supports the LGBTQ community and raises awareness. So there's been 3 pops made for this kind of lineup. So we have all in rainbow colors. We have Imagination SpongeBob, Batman, and Hello Kitty, which those are expected to be released as early as June 2020. And last but not least, for the March 2020 pops, we have a glow-in-the-dark Venomized Doctor Strange, which will be exclusive to Amazon. And it's unknown of when this will be released because of the fact that I think this was actually leaked, because today they actually removed the pop from the Funko app. So starting off with the do-it-yourself Hello Kitty, I think it's pretty cool that they made a do-it-yourself Hello Kitty. I mean, Hello Kitty comes in so many colors and so many outfits that now it's up to the Funko fanatics to make their own Hello Kitty, and I think it's a pretty decent idea for a do-it-yourself pop. Then the Pillsbury Doughboy with the Easter basket. Why Funko? Why are you, like, I understand you probably have the Pillsbury license, so you want to make the most of it, but it's like even MD Shady said a couple weeks ago with the whole make like the Pillsbury Dough Girl, like assuming with that Pillsbury license, you're able to make both mascots. So I don't know why you'd do that, but I guess it's understandable. I mean, it's Easter. I'm going to assume at some point when another holiday hits, maybe there's going to be a Thanksgiving Pillsbury Doughboy in the future. Who knows? But yeah, it's not the greatest, but it's all right. The Fast Times at Ridgemont High pops. I've heard of this movie, but I've never seen the movie. And I mean, I probably will in the future, especially if it's on Netflix right now. I'll probably go watch it. I don't know when, but soon though. These pops are pretty cool from what I'm looking at. I think people were very hyped for the Brad Hamilton with the pirate outfit. And then there's some Linda Barnett fans, I'm pretty sure. And then I like the Mr. Hand because he is holding a slice of pizza. That's basically the only reason I like that. But other than that, it's still not a bad pop. And these pops aren't too bad either. I think some people were like wondering why they didn't make a Jeff pop of like some other part of the movie. But I'm sure they will in the future, maybe, especially with like San Diego Comic-Con happening in July. As far as we know, who knows if it's going to be postponed. But yeah, the Venomized Groot pop and tea combo, I would have rather seen a Venomized Groot of the newer wave in a pop and tea combo rather than this Venomized Groot, the one that I feel is probably the worst Venomized pop that they have done. However, I like the box because it's like the stack of comic books, which Marvel is known for that when it comes to the pop and tea combo. And the Venomized Groot t-shirt is also pretty cool. It says coming from space. And it's even got, I feel like the pop that is on the t-shirt is actually way better than the pop that is actually made itself. Cyclops, I don't know why, but I always imagine Cyclops more like an octopus rather than like more of a Bigfoot type monster.
What?
But I don't know. Like I never really imagined Cyclops as like this beast of a creature. I don't know. But I do like the whole one eye thing because that's what the Cyclops has. And it's still pretty cool, but obviously it's probably a pass for me. The Pride Pops. I like the way that the rainbow looks for the Pride Pops because the pops are more like translucent rather than just like a single color. They did do a Rainbow Batman for New York Comic Con, I think in 2016, I believe. And that was all right, but this makes it look 10 times better than that New York Comic Con version. A lot of people were super hyped about the Batman one the most. However, if I were to choose one of three that I would get, it would definitely be the Imagination SpongeBob, just because I just find it's the perfect pop for this scenario because he's already got the rainbow. So then just to make it entirely rainbow also would also be cool. The only thing I don't like about the SpongeBob is that they should have made like the teeth like white and then the tongue like pinkish red. But other than that, all of it rainbow is awesome. And Hello Kitty looks cool because even though the rainbow is kind of going from like purple to like orange, that red kind of blends in well also because usually the end of the rainbow is red. And then it's got the yellow nose, which is awesome. So there's that. And then the Venomized Doctor Strange. Now, this looks pretty cool. I understand that there's a lot of people who would now rather get this than the common one, or they've said, oh, I knew there was a reason why I didn't pick up the common version. And this is it. The glow, as far as the glam shot shows, looks pretty cool with the green eyes, kind of like the what would be like white streaks in the hair, but it looks green to me. And then the beard is kind of like whitish. And then especially the red looks very nice. But at the same time, I find, in my opinion, red to be like one of the worst colors when it comes to glow in the dark pops because I find that a lot of times when you try the black light on it, it doesn't glow all that good. Like if it was like yellow or green, that would be great because those two colors are great when it's glow in the dark. But when you have kind of a more darker color like a red or a blue, it doesn't really last long when it glows in the dark.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. I guess I'll start from here and I'll make my way back. I think it. I like the idea of the cape being red glow in the dark, but for sure I could see it being a color that won't glow that well. But from the glam shot, it does look pretty cool. The Pride Pops, I think these are a great idea. I really like the three characters that they chose. Obviously, SpongeBob, Batman, and Hello Kitty are three huge companies that have made tons of money and have really made an impact on their fans over the years. So it makes sense to have those three as the, I guess, icons for this. And yeah, I'd agree. The SpongeBob one is definitely the best. I really like how that turned out. Uh, yeah, there's already the rainbow, so it looks really cool. I think I'll actually pick up that SpongeBob one because I'm pretty interested in how it actually looks. The Cyclops, I like this pop a lot. I'm not gonna collect the Myths pops just because it's kind of a weird set to collect, but I do really like how this turned out. The Venomized Groot, I agree with you. I don't really like this Venomized Groot, and it being glow in the dark is kind of just meh in my opinion. The shirt does look really cool though. I like the shirt how they decided to go with the pink writing and the pink like cover issue number because just with his pink tongue and like the rest of it being mostly gray, I think it really pops and I think it really looks good. And of course the box looks amazing like most t-shirts do. I really like the idea of having the Marvel comic books stacked up. I think it looks sweet. The Fast Times at Ridgemont High. So this movie is, I would say, it's definitely a cult classic. I haven't seen all of it. I remember years and years ago I watched some of it, and I don't think I was at the right age while I was watching it to like appreciate it for what it is. So I'll definitely have to go back and watch it again. These pops are, they're all right. I could see where there'd definitely be a lot of hype around these because, like I said, this is definitely kind of like a cult classic movie. The Pillsbury Doughboy, yeah, let's see the Pillsbury Dough Girl. But I do like this one because obviously, like when you think of Easter, I think Pillsbury is one of those like subcategories of Easter. You're like making the sugar cookies with the chicks or the eggs on them, and it makes sense. I appreciate this pop, I guess. Then the do-it-yourself Hello Kitty. I think this is my favorite do-it-yourself pop to date. It makes so much sense to have Hello Kitty as a do-it-yourself pop, and I will probably end up getting this one eventually.
All right. So now we are moving to our segment called The Update. So for those that are brand new to the podcast, The Update is a segment in which any pops that, if we did a top 10 segment during an episode, some of these pops that we talk about don't get mentioned because usually we don't do the top 10 list right at the end of the month. So this gives a chance for the pops that we don't get to talk about during that episode to actually have a chance to make our top 10 list. So we'll start off with MD and see if his top 10 list had updated since last week when I had presented it to the world.
Yeah, so making my top 10 list was kind of difficult because obviously there hasn't been anything really huge that has dropped, mostly because of this pandemic that's going on, I would guess, or else I would assume that we'd have a lot of good drops going on. But yeah, it was a hard list to make just because it was kind of a limited selection and there was quite a few good pops to choose from. But these ones, all of these pops that we just talked about, they're mostly great in their own way, but there's nothing that would top any of those top 10 that I had added. So there's no changes from me.
For me, there's actually two pops that have made it out of this set that we just talked about to the top 10 list now, which starting off at number 8. So that means 7 and up will stay the same. So number 8, I've put the Amazon exclusive glow in the dark Doctor Strange. I think it's a cool idea that it glows in the dark. Venomized Doctor Strange was already one of the pops that kind of were the most popular of the new set of Venomized pops. However, the colors that glow in the dark, I feel, might not be as good as they show in the glam shot. Plus, because if this wasn't a leaked pop technically, this probably would make it higher, considering that also I couldn't really record like the hype involved with this, because if any hype at all, it's from the, I guess, dirt sheet pages that I look up. But other than that, it definitely should be on the top 10 list, at least for me. And then going to number 10. So I placed the Pride Batman pop. I chose that one because obviously it had the most hype out of the 3 of the Pride pops, hype-wise through Facebook and Instagram while looking at the comments. Even though I do like the Imagination SpongeBob the best out of the 2, or out of the 3, I should say, there's some flaws to it. And then there's even a couple flaws with the Hello Kitty, but not a lot of people were complaining about the Pride Batman. And I don't think there's really any flaws with the Batman at all. But I do think that the what would now be number 9 pop, which was originally number 8, has a bit more detail and a little bit more hype, which is why Batman is at number 10. And now that the original number 9 and the original number 10 are off the list. So, all right. So now we're going to move on to the last set of Funko Pops. This will be the first 2 Funko Pops for the month of April 2020. So there's only 2 that were announced, and there was no Funko Shop drop today, which I was a little bit surprised about that. But announced on April 1st, first off, we have a Pennywise with beaver hat that is a black and white Funko Pop that is exclusive to FYE and is available now. And Entertainment Earth announced their own exclusive of a wood Deco Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy, and that is expected to be released at some point this month, according to Entertainment Earth's website, but it is available for pre-order right now. So, starting off with the Pennywise with beaver hat, I don't really understand why they are making another beaver hat variant of Pennywise. They've already done this one with, like, obviously non-black and white, which is colors, and it was also an FYE exclusive, little known fact. And I don't know, I just feel it was kind of a waste of a Pennywise pop, and they've already done quite a bit of Pennywise pops the last year, and I kind of want to have a little refreshment, like a little break from it. But I will give the pop this, and that I do like how they kind of did what like some people do with photos, and like they'll make it black and white, but then they make certain parts of the photo have the color. So I like the idea of the eyes being yellow and like the blood splatter still being red instead of the entire Funko Pop being black and white. And then the wood deco Groot. This totally makes sense compared to the Captain America one that they did. I think it was last year they did that, or it might have been early this year. I can't exactly remember, but they did
I
do,
think it was last year.
yeah, I think, yeah. So they did do the wooden Captain America, and it was all right. But this one makes total sense because Groot is already basically like a tree of sorts. And to have the entire thing just looking like a piece of wood is awesome. There is still a bit of detail on the pop also within like the torso and like the feet and everything. And yeah, even though like the eyes are also wooden, it still looks pretty cool. And if you are a Guardians of the Galaxy fan and that you like Groot, I would suggest getting this pop, actually.
Yeah, so the FYE exclusive Pennywise, I I hate this pop. I don't think there's any need for it. And like you said, I do like the fact that they colored the eyes yellow and the blood is still red. If it wasn't, I would say this would be a candidate for one of the worst pops of the year. I really do not like this pop at all. I think Funko should just be done with Pennywise pops for the year unless they come up with something that's like huge, something great that we're gonna like. This is just kind of bogus to me. I don't know why they'd even make this one. But that being said, now we have a really great pop. This Groot is awesome. Like you said, it makes so much sense. Groot is a tree, so why not have a wood variation of him? And I really like the idea of these wood pops. So seeing this one and it making so much sense, I am definitely going to get my hands on this pop. I want to add it to my collection and put it beside my other two Groot pops. And yeah, this is one of my favorite pops of the year, actually.
Yeah, speaking of worst and best pops of the year, I think near the end of the year, one of the podcasts we will be doing, I think it will actually be before we do the top 50 pops of 2020, because there won't be many Funko Pop announcements that were weekly. We're going to be doing a podcast that is the best and worst of 2020 for like different things.
Cool.
So yeah, get excited for that, people. Other than that, that will be the end of this week's podcast. But before I go into the actual outro, obviously, due to the whole pandemic, unfortunately, any videos that we wanted MD to do this month or for the next couple of months will be on halt. And I'll be doing any videos on Monday and Wednesdays for the foreseeable future until this whole thing resolves itself, which one of those actually was actually this upcoming Monday. It was a video that MD was going to be a part of, and that will be the top 10 Looney Tunes Funko Pops.
Oh, right.
And that is happening this upcoming Monday's video. That will happen then, along with, I think, Wednesday's video. Maybe, I don't know yet. I may be ordering stuff from K-Dog and Fish, and it will be a Funko Pop haul from them. So, and then other than that, so that's all we got for this week's podcast. If you enjoyed this podcast, make sure you smash that like button to let us know that you enjoyed not only this podcast, but any of the content we've been posting on our channel, including the videos that happened this past week, which were the rearranging my Funko Pop collection, which was Wednesday's video, and then Monday's video, which was the behind the scenes look of the Funko Photo a Day challenge that happened this past month. And there should be another one coming out in April because Funko is doing Funko Photo a Day challenges every month now for the foreseeable future. Comment in the comments section below on what your favorite pops of March 2020 were. I know I kind of said that last week probably, but we're officially done with March 2020, so it's appropriate time to say what's your favorite pop, and let us know on what you think about the new pops that have been announced so far for April 2020. Press that subscribe button for more content like this podcast and other videos we do on this channel in the future, and press the little bell beside it to be notified of when that future content gets released. But anyways, thank you all for listening, and see you guys next week. 1, 2, 3, I'm out of here.
Peace in and peace out.